Now, I have to ask a follow up to that because I know I saw a photo of you and your daughter with Bill Walton. I believe it was before a game. So I don't know if you've ever called a game with him or not. But what's it like
Tons,
being
tons.
around? But what's it like being around? Bill in person. Is he as zany in person as he is doing a broadcast with
He's wild.
a shirt?
He's wild. Um, in a good way. I mean, we may come across, and Dave Pash and I have talked and stuff, and how we handle as we joke around with him, little Billy. Um, even though we like to give it to him, and he loves that when we needle him on the air. Uh, he likes that banter, that back and forth, and even it may
Yeah,
come off as we don't necessarily enjoy those 2 hours we're with Bill. We really do,
yeah,
and it's far different. It's unique to work with him as opposed to other partners, whether it's Sean Farnham, Adrian Branch, Corey Williams, uh, Don McClain, on and on the partners I work with at basketball. The preparation's different. Not only am I preparing for the game, but I'm trying to prepare the best of my ability to him. But I never know which direction it's going to go. We don't talk before the games. Like, we'll walk in to a shoot around, and you're at tons of them, just like me. And normally the two broadcasters, they'll sit with you, right? And
yeah,
give information, ask about this, and trying to get as updated and up to speed as much as we can. Well, we'll come in. We may say hello. More times than not, we say hello. I'll sit at one end. He'll sit at the other. And we don't talk. He wants to save everything for air. He wants it as
yeah.
organic and natural as possible. So essentially, the first conversation we have that entire day is, "Hi, welcome to this arena, along with the Hall of Famer Bill Walton. I'm
Yeah.
Roxy Bernstein." And that's our first. And then when he says something outrageous, I never know where it's coming from. I can't prepare for it. There's little
Yeah.
tricks that I've learned that, okay, this might come up. But for the most part, I'm like the viewer at home where I have no idea what he's going to say next.
Yeah, I think the authentic experience is really what lends to a better broadcast. I think that's some of the best or most favorite broadcasts, not just among fans, but even in the industry you work in, are those people that are genuinely authentic and people that are able to come up with something that doesn't seem rehearsed. It just seems very natural and free flowing. But, like you said, you work with a number of female anchors and analysts when you do the women's basketball games. Who are some of those people, or what are some of the qualities that stand out to you in some of those people you get to work with?
Getting a chance, and I've worked with a lot of great women in broadcasting, whether it's Doris Burke, whether it is Mary Murphy. There are a number of them. For example, during our football crew, Jill Savage is our sideline reporter. I've worked with Kate Scott, also was on football. There's a number of women. Tammy Blackwell. I can go on and on with the women I work with. But the one thing that strikes me, honestly, I don't treat them any different. I don't think that they are prepared. They do their homework. They're ready to go. And whether it's a woman doing a women's game or a woman doing a men's game, that they're up to speed. They know what to do, and they're as credentialed as anybody else. And it's no different to me, to be honest with you. Whether I'm working with a male or a female, doesn't matter. As long as they're prepared, as long as they do their job, and we're colleagues, we're in this together. Okay, the teams are playing together, right? The referees work together. Well, so do the broadcast crews. We work together also.
Yeah.
And we're there. It's my job on TV to set the analyst up. And look, the mediums are very different, as you know.
Yeah.
Radio and TV broadcasts are very different. On radio,
Yeah.
the play-by-play guy kind of has to be the star
Yeah.
because you're the eyes and ears of the listener. But on TV, you're there to set up the analyst. The analyst is the star, and to
Yeah.
tee them up. And I have the utmost confidence that when I throw it at them, that they're going to be able to hit it out of the park with a home run. And it just seems to flow as a broadcast.
So with your season and really all seasons on hiatus right now due to the coronavirus pandemic, what are some of the things you do either at home or through Zoom calls with some of your colleagues in order to, keep your skills sharp and keep yourself ready to go whenever sports do hopefully eventually start back up?
I'm reading a lot just to try to get up to speed and still following a lot of the stuff for Major League Baseball, just anticipating at some point, hopefully there will be a baseball season. But not only that, following the movements in college football, college basketball. My daughter and I the other night watched the WNBA draft together because she was so excited to see Sabrina go #1. But that's really all I can do right now. Occasionally do some radio talk show hits. But there are no sports. And I know everybody's glued to the Jordan documentary right now, and I'm among them. Can't wait for the next one to come out on Sunday.
Yeah.
But I was trying to get caught up on expense reports, which I've done.
Yeah.
All the little things that we get to do for work as well, and our ESPN training, just so I'm not falling behind anything, and I've got time to catch up on stuff. But the strange thing for me during this time, and there's so many odd things going on right now, is I've never been home for an extended period of time like I am right now. Usually there's a little trip here and there. Okay, I have to do this. I have to go there. All right, I may be gone for a weekend to do this game or whatever. I've been home. Here we are talking in mid to late April. Yeah. I've been home since March 12th. I haven't gone anywhere other than the grocery store to grab takeout. That's it.
Yeah.
And so it's great being home with my wife and kids. I think my wife's going a little nuts that I'm home this much. But being around the kids and able to do stuff with them, which I miss out a lot. As you know, in this business, we miss a lot of things. And my Saturdays in the fall, for example, when we have a normal schedule, I'm off doing football games. I miss my daughter. I miss my son playing soccer. I miss a lot of their school activities, whether for sports. And right now, okay, there's no school. There's online school for my kids, but I'm not really missing anything right now. And it's great that I'm around this much. It stinks that it comes under these circumstances, but that's one of the trade-offs for me is I've been around my family a lot more than I can remember being, and it's great.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the things that I really enjoy about working for Stevens College here in Columbia. We're a stone's throw from Mizzou, and it's cool getting to fly all the places and stay in the hotels and the nice hotels and some of the people you meet, especially through Damon's connections. But I honestly don't miss living out of a hotel room 3 or 4 days a week, 6 months of the year covering men's basketball. There's something nice about being able to go home, sleep in my own bed, and see my son. But as you alluded to, you have a 13-year-old daughter. What sports is she active in? What does she enjoy? And how are you, managing that as a girl dad? Do you get involved? Do you try to, stay a little bit on the, on the sidelines, be more of a fan? What's the interaction like there?
She's playing basketball, volleyball, and tennis are the 3 sports. She was playing soccer. I don't know if that'll continue or not, but she started playing club volleyball this last year. She's been playing basketball pretty consistently for years. It's funny. I'm not the easiest parent probably for her to have just because, my affinity for the game and knowing, and my parents a little hard on me growing up. And I know I'm hard on her, but she understands that I want the best for her and I want her to be the best player that she can be. And I kind of there to offer my constructive criticism. I'll praise her when she does things, but it's funny. If you see me at one of her games, I can't sit with the other parents. I just can't. I have to go. I'm like the guy that goes up in the corner and sits by himself.
Yeah.
More so at basketball. Volleyball, I can do it. Just I sit with the other parents. I kind of just keep my mouth shut. I don't say much, but I have to go. I have to get away from other parents at games for whatever reason. I just do for both of my kids, not just my daughter, but my son as well. And because I might blurt out something here and there, and I don't necessarily the other parents want to hear what I'm saying. But I'm not one to yell at the referees. I don't do that. It's more. I just want to test my daughter or my son. That's what it is.
No, I'm the same way. A quick story. So when I was back in Nashville in January for a family funeral, I was actually in town for a couple extra days, and so I have 4 nephews, but the 2 oldest ones had basketball games, and they go to the same school that my sister and I went to, and so you're right. I'm of that mentality that like I went and stood in the corner because I was watching my second oldest nephew at St. Bernard Academy, which is in Nashville where I went, and his older brother had a basketball game at St. Henry. They're in fifth and sixth grade. And you're right. I had to stand in the corner because like I'm that uncle that like I'm not yelling obscenities or at the refs or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just get into the game. Like that's how cheering for my nephew. Like like hands up, hands up. I'm very vocal. And so like when he would come out to get some water or something, I'm going over like strategy with them. Be like, okay, they're running a 2-3 or they're switching a man. They're doing a trap here. This is the hole in the zone. Like I'm going over things with them. Like if I was like if I was Steve Kerr or something, breaking it down. And that's one of the things I look forward to hopefully doing with my son if he plays sports, is that being supportive. Like you want to be interactive, but in a fun, productive way. So I kind of know what you're saying, but yeah. So do you think your daughter will follow in dad's footsteps and become a broadcaster extraordinaire?
It's possible. I know she likes it. She comes to games with me when I'm local. She loves to sit at the table with me. She's even been stage manager on a number of occasions, just playing traffic cop, sitting at the table with me and my analyst. She loves it. She actually, it's funny, she just took this online class about an introduction to sports writing. And she had a really good experience doing it. I could see it. I think that's one of the paths she may choose. We'll see. We've still got a lot of time. She's only in 7th grade. Yeah. But it is something that has interested her. She, like, at this age, when I was her age, I pretty much knew this is what I wanted to do. But I think she's more open to trying to see what's out there right now. But it definitely is one of the things that does capture her interest. And I'm going to say it is a possibility she could go this route.
And, Stevens has obviously produced a lot of people that work on camera and TV and film, some in movies, some on TV currently, even anchors. So what would be your advice for any females looking to get into broadcast journalism, especially in athletics?
Try to get as many reps and as much experience as you can, regardless of what you're doing, because it's like anything else. The more you practice, the better you're going to get. Whether you go out there and shoot 1,000 free throws, you're going to get it to be a better free throw shooter. You go practice your serve at tennis. Well, you're going to be a better tennis player because of it. Same thing with this. And the more reps you get, the more comfortable you're going to feel on camera, because it really is at first a little unnerving, and there is an uneasy feeling, and it takes a while to get in your comfort zone where you're feeling confident in what you're doing. But also the more you do, the more your personality will come out. So that's my biggest advice. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Just get experience, get reps, get as many opportunities as possible, and take advantage of it. Doesn't matter what your audience is, because you're going to improve the more you do. And go back and don't be afraid to rewatch and critique yourself. Gosh, I hate how I said this, or I don't like the way that I position my head when I say just little, or my hand gestures. You break it down like anything else. And the more opportunities you get to do this, the better you're going to get. That would be my best piece of advice.